Greetings everyone. So in this video I will share my experience of breeding pencilfish, mostly Nannostomus beckfordi. There's very little information available online about breeding Nannostomus and about raising Nannostomus beckfordi and any other Nannostomus species. So I thought these experiences that I've had so far can be helpful to some of you who decide to breed pencilfish Nannostomus species. So let's get going. So this is my display tank, and this is where I have my breeding colony of wild-caught Nannostomus beckfordi. Well, when I bought this fish, they were sold as red Brazilian pencilfish, so there was no Latin name attached. I bought them at Pierre Aquatics about a year ago. But I believe that these fish are Nannostomus beckfordi, wild-caught variety, variant of Nannostomus beckfordi. So I will be talking specifically about breeding this type of, this form of Nannostomus pencilfish. But I've had similar experience with breeding Nannostomus marginatus or dwarf pencilfish in a very similar manner. So I would say that this method, this approach will apply to pretty much any other Nannostomus species. I'm trying to film some of the adult Nannostomus that I've got in here, so you can see some Nannostomus equus, and they're certainly larger and more outgoing than Nannostomus beckfordi. This is a male Nannostomus beckfordi. My Nannostomus will lay eggs somewhere in here in those floating plants. It's a mixture of Amazon frogbit, water lettuce, and Hydrocotyle leucocephala, as well as some Ratala. Yes, and I would normally remove those plants in a separate container, in a separate tank, after, well, probably once a week or something like this. So this is a tank where I raise my pencilfish juveniles. It's a 30-liter tank, lots of floating plants on top. It's in a very relatively uncomfortable position in my fish room, so I have to kind of go down because it's on the floor. And yes, so that's a mixture of Amazon frogbit and duckweed actually. There might be a few pieces of water lettuce up there, but mostly these two species of floating plants inside. And here are pencils. These fish are approximately 3 to 4 months old, and I've had about 25 of them in here. That's not many, but that's enough for me, for my own needs. I will move them across different tanks that I have, so I will have this sort of a backup population of Nannostomus beckfordi. They're relatively large already, so they're feeding on frozen brine shrimp at this size, and all sorts of dry foods, dry flakes. And probably the main thing, well, this tank has a small heater in the back. I'm keeping the temperature at about 26 degrees Celsius, and it has a small sponge filter. Well, pencils don't like, especially juvenile pencils, they don't like too much flow, so the filter just barely creates this surface agitation, and that's absolutely enough for them. So the main feature of this setup, which I think helped tremendously in raising them, is this layer of leaf litter. I don't have any substrate in here, so it's just a thick layer of leaf litter, various leaves in here. And as we know, leaf litter generally produces lots of infusoria, and when these pencils, they basically hatched in this tank, because the floating plants that you see on the top were the ones containing the eggs. So I moved them into this setup, and they hatched in here, and I was feeding them with some interpet fry food, sort of a powdered fry food, but I believe the main source of nutrition were infusoria living in the leaf litter. And initially, when I've just created this bed of leaf litter, there were tons of infusoria. I could see them jumping around, very difficult to notice, but because they're tiny, but nevertheless. So there was lots of infusoria, and this is what has helped to raise them up. Once they were a bit larger, I could have fed them with freshly hatched brine shrimp, but I didn't have any at the moment, and I was too lazy to start cultivating brine shrimp, so I just fed them some flake food, which they took actually eagerly. Crushed flake food, something that has helped me to raise them up to a larger size when they would take frozen brine shrimp, and afterwards there's no issues at all. So this is how I breed and how I raise pencilfish. This particular species is wild caught. Well, these are F1 Nannostomus beckfordi, but in a very similar manner, I've previously raised Nannostomus marginatus or dwarf pencilfish, so that would work for both of these species. Well, I have finally managed to get some free time to hatch brine shrimp, and this is my hatchery in here. And I've collected some freshly hatched brine shrimp, and we are going to feed pencilfish fry right now. They are already feeding on brine shrimp, although I have never fed them brine shrimp before, but they seem to be enjoying it. And from now on I will be feeding them brine shrimp more or less regularly, so live brine shrimp, freshly hatched brine shrimp, and I think they will grow faster. Actually, they are already quite large, and I'm pretty sure that I can move them to my main display tank, which doesn't have any large fish in it, apart from other pencils and cardinal tetras and corridors. So yeah, that's how my raising tank looks like.